after I broke up with my boyfriend, right, all my friends were just bitching about him. Like, you see, girl, I tried to tell you.
Hi, I'm Rina.
Hi, I'm Zhimin.
Hi, I'm Jia.
Hi, I'm Bia, and this is
ZULA ChickChats.
So today we're going to be talking about toxic relationships. And let's first of all start off with defining what a toxic relationship is. So what is it to you guys?
Like a toxic relationship is basically when one of the partner has like more power than the other, and like maybe when one loves the other more.
Toxic relationship is when you're in a constant state of sadness or like fear even. It's just not happy anymore lah.
Something where you lose yourself as an individual. You just keep giving yourself to someone. You just keep giving in. And your partner doesn't know the boundaries.
Okay, so actually I agree with all your points, and I think also like just to have a broad definition, right, it also covers like emotional abuse and like physical abuse. It stems from like manipulation from like one party over the other, and I personally think is that when someone holds that power over you, like what you mentioned, right, Timmy, it's like they use this power to control you. The next question is then, have you ever been in a toxic relationship and how did it end?
For me, right, the toxic relationship actually happened between two of my very good friends. They were actually breaking up and getting back together again and again and again. What happened was that the girl liked to hint a lot of things, which leads to arguments because the guy doesn't know what she wants. Eventually, problems after problems was like not being solved. So one time they broke up and they never got back together. The girl had a boyfriend 1 month later. The guy friend was actually quite emotionally affected because there was no closure.
For me, it's also like one of my closest friends. At the start of JC, she was dating this guy. Throughout the entire 7 months, it was like super smooth sailing. Then one day the guy just like, oh, I want to break up. The girl, she's very emotionally attached because it was her first relationship. But it didn't end there. They actually got back together for like a lot of times over 2 years after their breakup.
So for me, I was in an abusive relationship. I was with him for 2 years. And for the first year, it was very sweet, like all the honeymoon period. And maybe it was because of something I did, but then he became very insecure. He started texting this girl. So I got very pissed off. Like throughout that entire year, he never texted any girl. I said, can you please don't text her? And then the arguments just got worse. There was one time we argued, got to a point and he popped. And I'm like, oh wow, my mom has never even slapped me before and this guy did. And then I still continue to stay with him.
Why?
I don't know. I shouted at her like, why?
No, nobody deserves to be slapped in the face. Like, not even like, not any human being, like, full stop. Yeah. For me also, like, when I was 20, so cause like I had this ex, he has anger issues. And a lot of times he couldn't control, he would like take out his anger on me. The biggest thing that happened is like when I tried to break up with him, like explode like he cannot, he don't want to.
Did he punch the wall?
He kicked some dustbin he kicked dustbin like we were outside. I was just like, what the hell are you doing? I was always very cautious around him. I didn't feel like safe in that sense. So I felt that it wasn't a good relationship to be in. It was very unhealthy because I wasn't happy.
You're smart though, because like it took me so long to realize that I was being emotionally abused. Some people it's like only if you're hit, right, then you're abused. Besides that, right, it's normal. So I think it's like in a sense lucky that you got out of it.
Yeah. So in all these situations, right, did the parties involved try to, save the relationship? How did you work it out?
We did have like this breakup like before O levels. So I was like thinking, okay, I'm going to focus on studying. I'm going to surround myself with other people that are good. And then he bought me one small soft toy. I just like, oh my god, take me back. Because he never really showed love before. So it's like, when he really showed, right, then I just like, oh my god. But obviously it didn't work out.
Well, my friend is like, whenever they argue, it's like the girl initiate like the argument because she's suddenly like not happy with this, not happy. So as a guy, like he try and find out what's wrong but the girl always like avoids the problem solving part and just vents her frustration for the sake of venting I mean that's when the relationship breaks down lor. Like your argument is just for the sake of arguing, for the sake of expressing your emotions.
My friend, like, the relationship came to an end like very suddenly. So after that, then they tried to work things out. But it was more like, oh, the guy be like, oh, let's get back. And then she'll be like, okay. And it wasn't like a, oh, what is wrong? Like, why do you want to break up with me?
I see. So she never like addressed like why he wanted to constantly like break up.
From what I know, right, basically what she does is like give in as much as possible to him, like to his request, everything. Like our other close friend, we always tell her like, we really don't like how this is going on. But she hears it, but she doesn't like comprehend, take it
This
in.
is like me. The next question leading from that would be like, how do you feel after the whole relationship ended?
After like they broke up or like didn't get back together, right? There was no proper closure. So for the guy, it was a bit like, huh? So like, when is she coming back? For the girl, she obviously moved on quite quickly. She had a new boyfriend. But for the guy, he was left hanging and he kind of like waited for her to like realize that the one for you. But that didn't happen lah. So I feel like in a toxic relationship, when there's no proper closure for two parties, it actually harms like I think one party or even both of them emotionally lor.
When it finally ended, I think my friend, she had a sense like of relief because it was going on for so long. It went on for 2 years. But also she kind of regretted a little bit because she always held on to like what could it have been, that kind of like thought. But I think that needs to go lah.
One of the hardest thing was picking myself up because I spent so long believing that I wasn't enough. I'm too demanding. I'm unreasonable. So it's like it didn't just apply in relationships with a significant other. It applied in every aspect of my life. As a daughter, as a sister, as a student, I felt that I was never enough. So it was really difficult. And when I met my new boyfriend, he took a long time to just get me to trust him. Like I just kept thinking, oh, he's gonna get bored of me very fast. So I always had these insecurities, but slowly my boyfriend worked through it.
As in for me, I think I felt very relieved after the whole situation was over because I didn't feel so upset all the time and I didn't feel like I had to be very conscious about everything. I could live like my normal life. Ultimately, it was the better for both of us. We are friends now and he has become a much more like mellow person and he has toned down a lot. So I feel that it did him good to, you know, kind of do a distance. So the next question would be, why do you think then relationships get toxic?
In my friend's case, it's because she really like loved the guy a lot more than he loved her. It gave him the power to manipulate her and do whatever he wants to her.
My friends at least the emotional toxic part, it really just stems from someone's insecurity lor.
I think when someone starts to lose themselves in a relationship, that is when everything is going wrong already. Like you should never lose yourself in a relationship. There must be balance.
Yeah.
That you are yourself, but you are also his girlfriend.
But these relationships get toxic because one party thinks that they have control over you. So it's like when their mentality is such that it's like you're not a toy lah, like what you say also, like you're not a possession, like you're not something that he can control. You have to make your own decisions in life, right? He shouldn't be the one enforcing all his opinions, beliefs and decisions on you. That's the whole reason why I think these relationships get toxic lah.
I think the idea of control, right, it's like little by little bit one. It's not immediate.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely
you
not.
feel like he's letting you like a possession.
Yeah.
It stems from like, little like, oh, you're talking to this girl, huh? Is it?
Next question is then, to what extent do you think it's reasonable for your partner to control you? Because a lot of this toxic relationship stems from controlling and manipulation from one party. Some people will argue that like this control is necessary to a certain extent because it's not like that you're gonna just break all the boundaries and you're gonna do whatever you want. What extent is this control like acceptable?
Physical is
No,
simple lah. It's like no, unless
no hitting,
no
unless
violence.
unless they like it lah. So
alright.
one thing we can do is to let your boyfriend meet your friends. I think in my current relationship, that's what I did, and it really helped my boyfriend like trust me more and trust my friends as well.
For me lah, personally, I don't think you should be able to control your partner in any way because I'm the kind like you go do whatever you want as long as like it doesn't reach the boundaries. If I find out they reach the boundaries, right, that's it. You broke my trust and I'm not gonna give you a second chance.
For me, I feel like the boundaries or like the ground rules has to be laid out very clearly the moment you know that you are steady in that relationship. So if there's any dispute, right, you know what is the can and cannot what.
The final question then would be, what is some advice you can offer to people who are unsure about their current relationship?
Don't make excuses for them. It's like if he wants to love you, he will show you love.
Correct. You learn to have self-respect for yourself. Like love yourself before you love anybody else. That's a very important step. When you lose yourself in a relationship, like you said, it can be very damaging lah.
Don't harp on the fact that you are comfortable in a relationship. If the relationship is not healthy, is toxic, get out of it. you'll get used to being without him and you'll be fine.
Say like my point was gonna be, honestly, if you have no idea whether you are in one, ask your friends.
Yeah.
Your friends confirm plus shop, right?
Yes.
Will know that
Yes,
like this
yes.
is confirm something wrong one. You can delude yourself, your friends won't delude you, don't worry.
Yeah.
So that's my first advice. My second advice is that don't think you can change them when like you tried time and time again, right? And you try to work it out, right? You every time you come out the same excuse is like, it's okay, I think he will change. After this time he will change. If you say that to yourself like more than 3 times, right? Like, girl, like hello, you say 3 times already, like you know, it's enough. Like 3 times is more than enough.
No, you know why? Because
Yeah.
girls we like challenge.
Yes, that's
So
true.
you wanna like change
like,
the
no,
bad boy.
confirm can one.
I thought it's because like, you know, you want to be his special
Correct.
one.
Oh my god,
You wanna be like
yeah, you want to be
take
that
up the
one
challenge,
who-
you know,
yeah,
you want
correct.
that
Okay, no,
girl.
like stop. Like
Yeah,
no.
stop.
If you don't want to change, right, then like just bye lah. Okay.
So today we talked about toxic relationship, and if there's one takeaway, it's definitely to love yourself first.
So if you guys have any opinions about this, or if you have any personal stories you want to share, do feel free to leave it in the comments and let us know what else to talk about next time.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
Bye!